What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for coming back. Guys, I'm excited because today Exo-6 gave us another pre-order window opening for one of my favorite Star Trek The Next Generation characters, Commander Geordi Laforge. Now, we got two SKUs to review today, and I'm excited because they're giving us a little bit extra finally, but there's a cost associated there as well. But I am excited to report we got some better photos to look at. So guys, stick around if you guys like the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show, and let's get into it.
I am Ben Thomas.
Okay, everybody, so welcome back. So wow, am I a happy Star Trek collector today. As many of you guys know, with my coverage of Exo-6 1/6 scale figures, I'm constantly saying, yeah, I love this, but I'm waiting for the next generation. And recently, we got the yellow version of Data, and a lot of collectors were happy. We got the actual Data-colored wrist pegs, which was a huge improvement. The likeness to Brent Spiner was fantastic. And who better to pair Commander Data with than his best bud, Geordi Laforge. Now, we've got Geordi here up on the screen today, and again, he's always been one of my favorite characters. Just like Scotty was for the Captain Kirk days, Geordi Laforge can get shit done. If the captain is in a bind, if the ship is in a bind, you know, if you go to Geordi Laforge, he's gonna find a way to fix the problem. And I always loved that about his character. I loved his emotional catharsis throughout the whole series of Star Trek. I really enjoyed seeing him again in season 3 of Picard, even though obviously LeVar Burton, much older man now, and he's sporting a different look than what we saw with The Next Generation. But that's okay. Now, this to me is the classic Geordi Laforge. Even when we saw him in First Contact and he's sporting the contact lenses, yeah, it felt futuristic, but I liked the visor with Geordi. I always thought that that was a really cool piece of technology from back in the day. And I understand that in terms of function, contact lenses are probably easier to rock, but I thought it was a courageous move from both the writers of Star Trek, but also the actor himself to have to rock that for so many seasons. It must have been an absolute pain in the butt. Can you imagine? But I'm loving what I'm seeing here. Now, I want to note something right away. I already noticed the photo quality here is so much better. Now, I have been told this is photographs from 6 Scale Mafia, the YouTuber. If you are not aware of 6 Scale Mafia, go and take a look at his channel. Great content over there. And I've been petitioning Exo-6 here on this channel for quite some time to let somebody else have a crack at the can, because the previous blogger photos just, for me, didn't sell the product. This definitely helps. Look at the backgrounds that we're seeing with Geordi here. Look at the quality of the photo. All of the coloration is the same. Like, it looks really good. So props to 6 Scale Mafia there. Now, onto the figure. Does this look like LeVar Burton? Oh, hell yeah. And of course, posing makes a big difference. I love the way that the photographs show him taking off his visor, for example, and kind of feeling it like Geordi would, or crossing his arms behind his back like he would, or even in front of him like he would. Very iconic body language from LeVar Burton from the television show itself, and I think that they did a really good job both capturing that with the figure, but again, also with the photography there. Now, there are two different SKUs that we need to review here. So there is, of course, the Essential version. Now, the Essential version is the cheaper of the two options if you're looking for just really getting the figure in your collection. It comes in at $190 plus $25 flat shipping rate on the Exo-6 website itself. The pre-order end date is February 12th, 2024, so you got a little bit of time, but it's estimating the delivery date of the second quarter of 2024. So I bet for the most part, this is already pretty much baked in the oven. They're just collecting the orders now at this point, which is exciting to get this guy in hand a little bit sooner. Now, the next SKU we have to look at is the standard version. Now, this is still a criticism I have of Exo-6. I really wish they would change the naming convention, because to me, when I think of standard version, I think of the stripped down version. The Essential version also sounds like a version of Stripped Down, but Essential and Standard sound too similar. They both seem like the lower quality option. Whereas I think Standard and Deluxe, or Deluxe and Essential, or something along those lines, just to help differentiate this for people, I think might be helpful. Either way, as long as you can read, I'm sure you can figure it out. Now, the Standard version, or let's call it the Deluxe version for the sake of this video, is coming in at a much higher price point. I will say it is coming in at $230 plus the shipping cost of $20 flat rate. That is on the Exo-6 website specifically. Now, it does look like it comes with some more accessories, and we'll get into that in a moment. But again, the pre-order date is the same, February 12th, 2024, and estimated for the second quarter of 2024 in terms of delivery. Now, for the Standard version, or the Deluxe version, let's call it, it does have, again, the additional accessories. So right now we're looking at the Type 2 hand phaser, and that phaser can be worn in the black holster magnetically attached to the pants, just like we've seen with other figures. It does have the reissued TR580 tricorder, which is that standard tricorder. It can be open and worn in a holster, all good stuff. It does come with the personal access display device. So again, we are seeing some repetition here with those accessories, but the additional pieces here are the engineering toolkit, which is featuring an opening case and 3 tools inside, an ODN recoupler, interphasic coil spanner, and an ODN scanner. Now, it does come, of course, with the hexagonal display base. It does have multiple hands for holding accessories with various poses. It does have the left and right relaxed hands, fist hands, a hand for the tricorder, hand for the phaser, and the engineering tools. The cool comm badge, obviously, it's just kind of an accessory, but it's part of the figure, so not necessarily an accessory, but it looks great. And clasped hands to recreate his iconic pose, because again, he either holds it in front of him or he holds it behind him, but it's such a Geordi pose, and I love that they gave that to us. So bravo, Exo-6. Now, it is important to note as well that if you get the Essentials version, so the lower cost version, he actually doesn't come with those clasping hands to recreate that iconic pose, which I think is a little bit of a miss, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of think that that should just be with both figures, but fair enough if you want to add to the additional cost, I guess fair enough. Not so happy about that if you want the Essentials version, but still want to be able to recreate that posing. And of course, the Essentials version does not come with the additional med kit and all those extra tools. For a $40 difference, I don't think it's necessarily a deal breaker. I can imagine there was quite an extra cost to add those in. My question for my own self is, what Geordi do I need? Because either way, I'm going to get Geordi Laforge in my collection. To be honest, the extra $40, even though it's a bit of a tough nut to swallow, I think I have to go with the standard version because he has to have the clasping hands for the Geordi poses. And the additional toolkit is something that I've been asking for from Exo-6 for a while. I was starting to get really tired of seeing the same rinse and repeat accessories for every Star Trek character. They all have something else that they can offer. Something else, another tool, another piece of clothing, something that means something to those characters. And seeing them come with the tricorder, the phaser, and the pad every time was getting really boring to look at. I'm not gonna lie. So thank you, Exo-6, for at least giving us some additional options. However, I do think that the clasping hands should have been part of both releases at this point. However, in terms of the figure itself, again, I think the likeness to LeVar Burton is excellent. I do love the blind eye look. I love the section where you can clip the visor right onto the face. I think it's amazing that they gave us the ability to actually take that off and sport both looks for the head sculpt. While we don't get an extra expressive head sculpt by any stretch for the extra money, I think that this does give you the ability to change up what it looks like in the display. Again, for the photos, it really helps me to see the tailoring on the outfit, which does look really, really good. Very, very similar to what we saw in season 3 and beyond in Star Trek The Next Generation. I think they nailed the color. I think they nailed the comm badge. I think they even nailed the skin coloring. And the hair, while it does look a little flat in terms of paint application, it still looks pretty good. And again, when you see him posed up next to Data here, it just brings back so many great memories. I don't know for you guys, but when Geordi and Data reconnect in Picard Season 3, hopefully that's not a spoiler, it made me cry. I love those two guys together, and I can't wait to display these guys in my own personal collection. But guys, with that said, I do want to pass the question off to you. Are you excited about this? Did you lock the pre-order in right away? What version did you get? Was it the standard or did you go for the essential version? And why? Was it the cost or do you not feel like you need those extra accessories or those extra hands? I'd definitely be curious to hear from you guys. But for now, my own personal take, I absolutely love this. I think they nailed this figure. My first reaction when I saw the photos today was, wow! And I'm pretty darn excited. So guys, let me know what your thoughts are. If you guys liked the video, hit the like button, smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show. Live long and prosper, of course. And guys, I'll catch you on the next video.